I saw them doing that style of music, and they were doing Boys in the Hood in front of the court building.
Right.
On YouTube though, that's how I found these films,
yeah.
right? And I'm like, what the fuck? This is bad, right? And then they did on Tuja.
Yeah, one player.
Yeah.
One player.
And I was like, wait, this is what I've been looking for. So you know, me as a DJ, I always wanted to mix my culture with hip hop.
Right.
Feel me? And I one day found the balance of it.
What's up with y'all out there? This is the Best Way to Smoke podcast, and make sure you stay elevated with Big J.
Yep, and forever stay smoking with your favorite smoking partner, Serpo.
And you know you got your professional hype woman, C-Pop, in the building, guys. We got a whole squad on our couch today, and they brought the heat.
Yes.
Help me welcome Kiki Smooth y los asociados.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Practicing in the mirror like, hey, what's popping, guys?
Oh, everything.
Blessings. Thank you for having us, yo.
For sure. We thank y'all for pulling up, man. And we got T and Dre in the building.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look.
I like the hat.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I gotta send you guys some of the merch we have. I got the
In the mic.
Oh yeah, that's hard. Easy Street.
You know, I gotta hook you guys up with some of the merch, man. Definitely.
On everything.
187 Huda. This is a clothing line from 1992.
Yep.
And we've been around since, and you know, we rebirthed it back up, and our newest shirt is the Eazy-E Street.
For sure.
That's out right now.
Compton in the house.
Correct me if I'm wrong, too, though. For y'all who don't know, fuck the police.
Fuck the police all the way.
On the real.
All the way. Oh man, got it.
On the real. And before we get into the show, we always do the best way to smoke tip. So when we have a guest, we want to ask the guest, what's y'all best way to smoke tip for the people?
Best way. Should I go first? Okay, I'll
go first, bro.
I thought about this all day, y'all. I was pondering like a mug, and I think the best way to smoke, like we were discussing earlier, is a pipe, but I'm gonna take it old school, and it's an apple. An apple, because then you got a snack after.
On everything.
I've done that before.
Yeah, so an apple is, I mean, I remember I love smoking out of apples, so yeah, apple.
That's
Okay.
dope, though.
And you, gentlemen?
T?
T?
I mean, I smoke papers, so walk on papers.
That's the best way.
That's right.
That's the best way.
Yeah, man. The best way for me personally, it's not like what you smoke on, but like how. I go on a hike. I like to go on hikes,
That's right.
smoke out there, get lost in the wilderness, you know.
That's a good
I think if like a close connection to Mother Nature. That's why
Right.
I'm into shit like that, you know.
Right.
That's
That's
Give me
right.
some on that. Give me some on that, yo. That's it.
Nature.
That's
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
But it's gotta be some bomb shit, not no bunk. Cause now you're gonna end up with a headache out there.
Right. Be mad and shit though. Yeah. Oh, everything.
I think like that one right there is kind of like lost in the cannabis like world period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
going out on a cool adventure
Yes.
to actually like enjoy your high.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
what I'm saying?
real.
Versus
Yeah.
it's like
100%.
smoking.
Right.
You know where I'm
Couch
going. You know where I'm
smoking
going.
is one, like the thing that everyone does, but to go get high, you know, I've only been hiking like 2-3 times with my wife, and I had to get high. But then here's the problem: when you do get high, you're climbing up these goddamn mountains. You're high.
Fucking up your high.
Fucking up your high like a motherfucker. Then get high.
Hey, come sit, babe. Come sit. Come on, let's look.
You look like you're about to faint, boy. I'm like, I never smoked on the way up this mountain.
man. Or like a view, you know.
Yeah, like a view. That's
Right.
the hill. Yeah.
So wait till you get to the top, then smoke.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
smoke and then go
Victory
climb up this
joint.
mountain.
Or
Right.
just get high, you know what I'm saying? Just enjoy the clumsiness.
Yeah.
I'll make it up there sooner or later.
Yeah.
That's real.
Everything.
Well, before, smoke after.
Yeah.
On the real. So for the people that don't know, tell everybody where you from and where you grew up.
My name is Kiki Smooth, the first Mexican rapper out of Compton, Hub City, you know,
Sir, Compton
original
in the
tar
house.
babe, like I was telling y'all. And, you know, I'm from Rich and Ruthless Records.
Shout out to Richard Ruthless.
That's right. So how would you say Compton shaped your music career today? Or
Oh,
did it have influence?
We're the, you know, we're the mecca of hip hop in the West Coast. You know, like my mentor,
Facts.
DJ Yella. You know, so as a kid, I was infatuated with NWA.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I ever heard NWA was my neighbor playing it on some turntables.
Mm.
I looked over the gate, and that was it for me. I was in love with hip hop.
On the real.
That was it for me. I was a kid. I was infatuated with these two turntables spinning at the same time. I didn't know what it was called, and my auntie ended up getting Yo MTV Raps, and
Yeah.
to see like my city in that video
Right.
of NWA. It was just amazing for me
Yeah.
because everything that I was growing up to in hip hop prior to that was buildings that I never recognized in my city, and that's New York. Big shout outs to New York and all
Yep.
that.
Yep.
But to be able to see, as a kid, your city for the first time, the buildings that you walk around, every
On
day
everything.
was just an amazing feeling, and I fell in love with hip hop.
Yep.
And so Compton is, like I tell people, I'm a DJ at heart, but I rap too. And Compton is that city that DJs rap.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know?
On the real.
And some of the best producers are DJs, and that's DJ Quick and Dr. Dre.
Yep.
So,
Greats.
I always wanted to be like Yella. So to imagine to meet Yella and make him your DJ was just an amazing for me. So, I've all that vinyl, but like my mom had me at a young age, so she came from Mexico to Compton.
Right.
Like straight to the hub, and we would listen to Spanish music. We would listen to Madonna. We would listen to, the OJs. We would listen to the Dales, and this is vinyl.
Right.
So I get to break my mama and my auntie's
Yeah.
needles. So all of that shaped my sound.
Yeah.
Those crates that I tell people that are special to me, I still have to this day.
Right.
Those records are amazing to me. Just listening to the needle crack on the record is a sound that is missing in hip hop now.
Mm.
You
I
know?
can dig that.
I got a quick question, you know what I'm saying? Because both of y'all from the hub city, y'all from Compton and all that. Take that out the picture. What makes Compton the mecca of West Coast hip hop? Why you say that and why you agree to it?
All the first records came out of Compton. You feel me? All the big first records came out of Compton. And then the evolution of the music.
You
from-
can say like gangster rap, all
Yeah,
that too.
from NWA to Kendrick now.
Yeah. Even like King T.
King T.
Man,
You know
all,
what I
you know
mean?
what I'm saying? So,
The Game.
yep.
When hip hop didn't have a West Coast rapper, and real quick, big shout out to The Game. We both grew up on the same street. You look at that first CD, my name is on that.
On the
He
real.
gave a big shout
What
out.
about
to him.
KRS-One?
KRS-One is from hip hop. That's why I was telling you.
He's from
In
East
my
Coast.
first years, all I could see was New York buildings.
Mm-hmm.
I
KRS
would
ain't from the Bay?
No, KRS-One from New York.
New York.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
Boogie
thought
Down
that motherfucker
Productions.
was
Yeah,
from
broke
the
it down.
That's
yeah.
Boogie Down
I
Productions.
thought I was tripping for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you know.
No, I always thought that nigga was from the Bay.
Nah.
I ain't gonna even front.
Nah. But Too Short is one of the legends.
And I was finna go there.
Yeah,
too,
Too
like,
Short's
you know
one
what
of
I'm
the
saying?
legends.
Like,
I know my
damn.
history.
But NWA then was out before Short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
You got to understand who NWA is, though. It's the Wrecking Crew.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're the Wrecking Crew. The Wrecking Crew became NWA.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So hip hop is invented by DJs.
Yep.
And that's the
World
honest
Class
truth.
Wrecking Crew is what you saying it became NWA.
Yeah, that's all the members. That's Dre, Yella. What's his name?
Ran.
Ren.
Yeah, no, Ren came after that. What's
Ren
his
came
name?
with
my
Easy.
boy from Texas.
DLC.
DOC, yeah.
All of them came after that, but it was. I'm trying to think of his name. He's gonna kick my butt when he sees me.
That's cool. I'm kind of happy I asked that question though, because it's like by y'all naming these names, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a it's a
there's receipts.
reminder.
Yeah, we got
You know what I'm saying?
receipts.
Them motherfuckers like,
Yeah, we got receipts on this. Yo, like, nah, man, this is real hip hop history.
Yeah.
Compton is one of the innovators. Yella told me this. Wrecking Crew is the West Coast version of Africa Bambaataa and the Sonic Force. If you listen to the music, that's what it was. It was electronic. It was 808s, and the drums were all that style of music. It wasn't until Dre and Cube and them came around listening to East Coast hip hop to be able to create the West Coast version of hip hop. But we could take it all the way back. How's this? 6 in the Morning by Ice-T is the very first gangster rap song ever out. And that Boys in the Hood is a copy of that.
Yeah, you just dropped the jewel right here though, because a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I'm a DJ at heart. I love my history in Compton, you know?
The reason I know that because I'm an Ice-T fan, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 in the Morning was the first, and then 6 in the Morning was copied by somebody from Philly. So Ice-T was listening to I cannot remember what rapper, but he got it from Philly. So our style really never came from the East Coast. We never really bit the East Coast.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Well, we never not copied what they were doing. We copied, Compton copied Ice-T. You know what I mean? And that's how they got Boys in the Hood. If you listen to both records, because I've put them together, you could hear it. You could hear that Dre was influenced by 6 in the Morning.
Oh, for sure. Ice-T told it, like, he told the world that shit too, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to hear it from Yella. So
Yeah.
those conversations that I had with Yella were about my history in Compton.
For sure.
You know, I wanted to know what is the history of our music, you know?
Yeah. And if you think about Compton, and every era of hip hop has been somebody influential from Compton.
Yeah.
That's you know what I'm saying. That's a
Yeah.
part of hip hop.
Yeah, because for the 2000s, Game hold it down for a while, bro.
Sure.
Jayceon was putting in work. I always, you know, that dude is
He's a
amazing.
tar baby too.
Yeah, he a tar baby too. But he went to Dominguez too.
Right.
He went to Dominguez too. But yeah, he a tar baby too.
On the
You
real.
know?
On the
So
real.
would you say like your love, besides listening to it, would you say your love for hip hop started with DJing first or rapping?
Definitely. DJing and tagging on the streets. We used to tag.
Right.
You know, me and my brother we used to tag.
Right.
We're those kids in 1992 that would be running and jumping on the buses, tagging them up. Me and my brother and my homies used to do that.
Would you say tagging and hip hop would kind of go together?
Yes, graffiti.
Graffiti
People,
art, yeah.
people say that DJing
Well,
is the
graffiti,
first
yeah.
element, but graffiti was on the walls way before DJing.
Ain't no question.
You know, so graffiti, DJing, breakdancing, MCing, and fashion.
So it's graffiti and tagging. We know it's like the same, but
Yeah.
graffiti and tagging is somewhat different.
No, it's
Like tagging is like that's why I like brought it back a little bit because it's
Yeah.
kind of like hitting up.
yeah. So
You know what I'm saying? Where
yeah, but
graffiti is
street
a
art,
part of
street
it.
art is completely different than just tagging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bombing and
Like
and
murals and all
pieces.
that.
Yeah. It's those shout outs to all the real writers out there. You know what I mean? I actually did a graffiti song because I love the community of graph. You know, so I actually did a
I like
song.
that.
You know, I'm into
art of
the
it.
art of it. You know what I mean?
Love
I'm
it.
into the art of it. You know, I come from Compton where we were exposed to everything.
Man.
Everything.
Everything, you know? Soul food, everything. Mexican food, everything. You know?
Everything.
I didn't mind going over to Jayceon's house to eat, and he didn't mind coming over to my house, and that's the game. We used to go to the game's house to go eat with him. Come on, let's go eat at my house. Let's go. Mom's used to cook. We will eat soul food. And he would come over and eat, you know, rice and beans with carne asada and all that, you know?
Right.
And it's just, that's how it is in Compton.
city.
That's just
Yep.
really taught. And, you know, even in Watts, my grandma lives in Watts all my life. So think about this. All the aunties are going to dance. They're going to go out to clubbing. They dropping us all off at grandma's house. So we spent a lot of time in Watts. A lot of time in Watts, you know? And that's just how it goes. You're going to your grandma's house. We used to be like, yay.
On the
let's
real,
go.
it's going down.
Because all the cousins are going to be there, you know what I mean?
Right.
We're out there running around doing crazy shit, you know what I mean?
On the real.
That's what really it is, you know, when you're respecting the culture of what the city brings.
Ain't no
You know
question.
what I mean? Once you get older, you know, there's politics and all that shit. You know?
Right.
But being a kid in those cities were the best,
The
yo.
fucking best.
Yep.
The trolley going to the thrifties to go get the
Right.
ice cream.
Yep.
Come on,
My
bro.
mama worked at Thrifty.
Hell yeah.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, man, I loved all that,
Oh,
bro. Like
shit.
I missed that. You know what I mean? Like, too
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
that
the trolley
these
home.
kids don't get to do those things no more.
Yep.
They're stuck at home gaming all
Gaming
the
all-
time.
yep.
You know, That used to be a punishment for us.
Right, being in the house, yeah. You want to go outside.
You can't go outside, but why?
Man.
We looking out the window, everybody's outside playing.
You know what I'm
On the
saying?
real, on the real.
Now you gotta
Motherfuckers
force
come
these
knock
kids
on the
outside.
door. Man,
Yeah.
sir, you can't come
Hey,
outside.
he can't come out? They'll still ask, he can't come out? Oh, all right.
You know what? One thing I miss about those days too is that like it was just everyone would be outside, right?
Yeah.
All the kids would be outside, and it was almost like a unspoken, just like kind of just a thing that
Yeah.
like your neighbors and stuff will look out for the family kids. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
straight
like,
out.
like you're not supposed to be down here, or you know what I'm saying? You just know
for
what
sure.
kids are on your street.
Or I'm going to tell your mom.
Exactly. But nowadays, kids can't play outside like that, or it's just like, oh, it's neglect. It's just, or it's something crazy. It's like they're outside.
I think us, because we're the parents now.
Right.
I think like we dropped the ball right there, bro.
Like,
Cause like like the other day I saw this lady, the little boy fell and he was gonna get up, and she went over there, so he waited. I saw it. He was gonna get up,
Doing that.
and she was going, so he waited. Then he got up and she did all this to him. My mom would have kicked me, bro.
Man,
if
get
she
your
would have saw
ass
me
up.
that I
Yeah.
waited,
That dirty floor.
yeah, she would
Man.
have kicked me, bro. Like, man, y'all don't even know. I think we dropped the ball where we're like, we don't want them to be like us. But sometimes we just, we love our kids so much that we don't understand that we're kind of hindering them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they got to
Because-
experience stuff.
Yeah, you gotta fly.
Yeah,
And
I don't
some-
think they will get that.
and
experience,
sometimes
though.
you gotta fall out of the
Man.
nest to fly, though.
yeah.
And some of us as parents, I feel like if we're gonna blame anybody, especially the state of hip hop right now, it should be our fault.
Right.
Because we birthed all those kids
Ain't no
that
question.
are rapping right now, yo.
all the mumble rap and
all
all
those
that,
mumble
yeah.
rappers y'all complaining about. Their parents are our age, yo.
Yep. Ain't no question.
So we kind of messed up hip hop by messing up.
I never thought of it that way.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't either though. That's
That's what I
outside
would
the box thought.
Yeah, I
right
always
there.
tell people like, well, really, it's our fault, bro. Like,
I be having I told my wife that shit before. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like I done fucked up somewhere. You
so
know?
we're like,
Yeah.
what happened?
'Cause I know about this shit. I get to telling the stories about how I was a kid, but I'm like, damn, I ain't even
Doing it with
But do
yeah.
you think like it's just society society did change? Like it
Definitely.
evolved.
The
It
digital
just like
world.
from
Going to
our
something
parents.
different,
You know what I'm saying?
like-
Our parents raised us different from how they parents raised them.
I feel
Yeah.
like even now, if I was like, if you were to even love that idea of just like, hey, go outside, it's weird as shit out there.
Yeah, it is
sure.
though. It is though.
So it's
But,
almost a different
we had technology. Like Nintendo was the shit for us.
The shit.
But not everyone could afford it. So we were
Right.
all like that one kid had it, so we'd
At
be at his house.
Everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know who all over there because
Yeah.
this thumb part
Yeah.
be fucked up.
Yeah, and then eventually, you get yours and everybody's at your house.
At your house,
Yeah,
Right.
but that's just how it would go. Where now, like
good
these
days.
these
Yeah, I had Nintendo and Sega.
these companies are smart though.
Right.
You don't gotta go nowhere no more.
Right.
Everyone's got their own system. You could be at your house and shit. You can buy the games online. You don't even gotta go to the
Go buy it,
store. Like all of that is, like crazy to me because I miss those days. I miss waiting in line and all that. Like popping up to go get vinyl and all that. Those are the good old days.
Going to the record store.
Yeah.
Remember
These
the
kids
record
don't know
store
what it is
downtown Compton?
to get a transfer and jump onto another bus.
bus. Yeah. That's real talk. That's real talk.
Wait, and that's true. Like my daughter, bruh, I'm like, man, like we was talking about like a Job Corps or some shit
Yeah.
like that. I'm like, you can catch the bus and catch the transfer and do whatever. She's like, what's that, Dad?
Oh,
Your daughter, I know grown adults like that.
yeah.
Like-
my stepson too.
Like early 20s, they'd be like, what do you mean? I'm
I'm a train writer. I toured the world with Coolio as his DJ. So I lived in Japan for summers,
Yeah.
and
oh, that's-
I got to enjoy like riding trains and all that. So I used to take the train to work, and my stepson was like, "Hey, pops, how is it riding the train?" I'm like, "For real?"
Train and bike.
Come on, man.
Hey,
Let's go.
No, but then like, here's the thing: you watch the news, and it's dangerous. As
It is
fuck.
super.
People are getting stabbed and all that. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, right?
What's character?
T, you should know
I
that.
used to love that shit.
Yeah,
I was like,
But
what's
coming up
character,
with
you know?
that shit was that dangerous.
no. So to us, it was like, oh shit, there's a dead body. Move out the way.
You know what I'm saying?
It was,
Right.
It was not like,
different, yeah.
oh my
You
god.
want to see a dead body?
Yeah, I
But
mean,
look at us though. You know what I'm saying? Look at it. We like some witted motherfuckers. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We probably don't want them kids, them babies to turn
no,
out.
that's what I was
You know what I'm
saying. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it's hard to want to see your kid go through what you went through, but
Yeah.
then you wish they had your childhood. Maybe not your teens. Really?
Childhood.
Yeah.
Your
Man.
childhood, yeah, because the teens, that's when it did get crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got into a gang of fights in Compton. You know what I mean?
Everything.
A gang, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I live on the other side of the bridge. How's that? You know what I mean?
Yep, all the time.
Yeah, I live on the other side of the bridge. So, you know, I grew up in the Crip neighborhood. So
Yep.
I'm already fighting the guys the Mexicans that grew up in the blood neighborhood.
Yep, on the real. That's,
You know,
that's the politics
That's
of it.
just that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. After it hit 17, it was just way different. You know what I mean? That's why I dedicated myself to DJing.
That's dope.
You know what I mean? Because I was seeing people going. We were going to funerals. We were going,
A lot.
court. We were going to all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I got locked up, and I was like, you know what? I got to switch something around.
Mhm.
Facts.
Yeah.
Real quick, let me ask Dre and T, where y'all grew up at? Where y'all from?
South Central originally.
Yeah,
That's
South
right.
Central.
Okay.
Both of us.
Yeah.
So what was it like for y'all in South Central? Growing
Pretty
up in
much
South
the
Central?
same, man. It's just down the street from Compton too.
Question.
Same, man. Same old.
Same get down. Yeah.
Like growing
yeah.
up, I was a tagger, so basically the same old shit, man.
Right, right. Let me ask y'all this. When did you get introduced to weed? And when did you fall in love
I
with
was
it?
a late bloomer. So check it out. I was in the swimming team. At Mona Park, I was a lifeguard.
That's right.
So my brother smoked before me, you know what I mean? And one day, let's stop being a little punk. Smoke
Right.
with me. And this is my younger brother, right?
Right.
My brother Dale, and he's like, this is the chronic. Said, this ain't the stress shit that the homies be smoking.
Right.
This is the chronic.
That green shit.
Let me hit this shit. And that was it. That was like, fuck, so 96?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got introduced to the chronic, and I've been smoking ever since.
I was
Did you
born in
learn-
'96, man.
Did you learn how to swim at Mona?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
too.
a gang of our uncles and stuff. Like, yeah.
Hey, so I was the little
cousins.
kid that would give you the little thing for your bag.
For your bag of
Yeah, if you ask any of your uncles, I worked there.
Huh.
Yeah, I taught an adults like older.
So you should spread the rumor about that fish, whatever the fuck you
Fuck
see.
yeah. Yeah. That was crazy, bro.
Oh,
And
real.
that's how I ended up getting the job with Coolio too, because I told Coolio that I remember him being at the park rapping.
Yeah.
And he remembered me. So he was like, that's it, bro. You're my DJ.
You know, there's some people, you know what I'm saying, that's from around in the Mona area that's like younger than me, you know what I'm saying? And I know they elders my age and shit. And I got into a conversation with some of them like younger. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, even though this y'all neighborhood, I done experienced some shit that y'all have never experienced. Cause the rocket ain't there no more.
Oh.
You ain't never gonna be able to go to that top of the
Oh.
motherfucking like rock.
I used to go get my free lunches over there. I
All
played
day, every
baseball
day.
there. You know,
Yeah.
I went to Martin Luther King and Bunch. So
Motherfuckers used
yeah,
to park
yeah.
hop and
Yeah,
shit.
I
You
went
know what I'm
to
saying? To get
Bunch,
them
too.
free lunches, homie.
yeah,
Real.
that was the thing, bro.
On
Gang
the
of
real.
bad ashy motherfuckers on bikes. Nigga, hurry to go over here.
On the real. And yeah, rest in peace to Coolio, man. What was
Rest
that?
in peace.
What was that experience like touring with him?
Oh man, it was life changing, bro. Like I was just telling Dre on the way over here. I toured 5 years. I did a USO tour with him where the military flew us all around the world.
Yeah.
And it was my first tour, so they gave us a 2-day break because we were gone for a month. So they gave us a 2-day break, and Coolio was like, "Where do you want to go that you never been?" It's like we were jumping from country to country,
That's hard.
and I was like, Amsterdam. So
Man.
back in those days,
Why was
Yeah.
Amsterdam for the
because Amsterdam was the only place that you could find real coffee, weed shops.
Yeah, yeah.
It was. That's where they brought the idea down to LA.
Yep.
So that I wanted to experience that. I got like pictures where I'm at the Grasshopper, the Bulldog. These are like the big shops.
Yeah.
Since I was there with a celebrity, now it's different.
Super.
You feel me? So he was like, "All right, I'll take you to go see those, but we're gonna go to a private one." And man, I
How was the
smoked
bud?
and smoked. It was beautiful, and it was back then in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, it was fire. But then I ended up
Yeah,
eating mushrooms,
flavor.
so I was swooned out for 2 days out in Amsterdam walking around, having a good time though. It was a great experience. But this is what I always tell people: you got to understand when you see me perform why I perform with so much energy. I spent 5 years looking at this man as his DJ, putting on major shows.
I was gonna ask that.
He comes out of a goddamn 6'4" Impala. We open up the trunk. All kinds of girls come out because we pick girls. Like it's not just like a rap show. You're seeing art. You're seeing acting. He leaves. We push this button and there's all kinds of shotguns and things going off.
Yeah.
We run off stage and we put fog and he comes out as a preacher and he talks about how Tupac said it was a gangster's paradise in heaven. Yeah, it was like some big shit. We come out as choir boys and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, we had costumes and all that.
Right.
We had dancers, a full live band, and me as the DJ. So I had movement. It was
A great experience.
the best years of my life, bro. You know what I mean? Even when I moved to New Zealand, I lived out there for 5 years in New Zealand.
Yeah.
After we finished touring and it was done, I would miss it for it took me a minute to get used to not being on the plane.
Right.
You know, we would come home.
Must be nice.
It
must be nice.
Come home for 2 weeks and be like, oh, we gotta go again, or we got rehearsal. We would spend a month on rehearsals. It depends what country or what we were doing.
Right.
Major shit. And it was just, a incredible way to say that because of him, I have 2 kids in New Zealand. I would have never went back to New Zealand if I fell in love with the country. That's why I went back.
Right.
So it was some of the last countries we had went to, and we ended up spending 2 weeks in New Zealand. And it was the first time I walked around a place and I didn't have to look my back.
Right.
You know that?
Yeah.
You walk 1 block and you look back.
Looking back.
Yeah, 1 block and you look back. So I walked back. I was walking to this hill. We had this beautiful views over there. So I was walking to this hill and I still had that habit. And I looked back and this old man said, there you are. Why are you looking back?
Huh.
And he goes, isn't it beautiful to see yourself? This old man said, "Kia ora," that means hi over there. And
Right.
And I was looking at this place and I'm like, I'm going to come back to this motherfucker.
On the real.
So the minute Coolio was like, we're taking a 6-month break. I was like, what? 6 months?
Hell no.
Yeah, I was like, damn, 6 months in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I had an apartment right there on Long Beach Boulevard with my brother in Linwood.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was the kick it spot. So all the homies are over there. And
Right.
all right, what am I going to do with myself? So I took off for a summer to Japan.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, one of the homies had passed away. My brother was locked up. I was like, what the fuck? What happened?
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I told my mom respectfully, I'm going to leave again. So I called one of the guys from New Zealand. I was like, how's work over there?
Yeah.
And when I said work, I would jump to different countries and go hit the clubs and DJ.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I ended up falling in love out there with the country and the culture and all that.
That's
So I
right.
stayed for 5 years out there.
On the real.
Mhm.
It sound like a dope experience. And now we fast forward. Tell us about the EP that's dropping and tell us about the song that you guys performed live.
You
Let him know,
okay,
my boy T. Let him know.
T's like, damn, I should have
Let him
never
know, my
worn
boy
this
T.
sweater.
That's what it got you, T.
Now I need to use the restroom too.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go
Go
Keys on the door. Do you
Yeah.
think?
So check it out. These guys are legends in Compton too. They were signed to a record label where I saw them doing that style of music, and they were doing Boys in the Hood in front of the court building.
Right.
On YouTube though, that's how I found these folks,
yeah.
right? And I'm like, what the fuck? This is bad, right? And then they did Too Short,
Yeah, I'm a player.
Yeah.
Strong player.
and
Yeah.
I was like, wait, this is what I've been looking for. So
Live
me as a DJ, I always wanted to mix my culture with hip hop.
Facts.
You feel me? And I one day found the balance of it. So then I reached out to their label, and they weren't having it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, nah, I got these fools on tour, blah, blah, blah. He gave me the runaround. And we're all from Compton.
Right.
The owner of the label that I don't want to mention, he's from Compton too, right?
Yeah.
So gave me the runaround for like 2 years, 3 years. And then one day, I'm signed to Ruthless Records. I pull up to the office. Come to find out, they get signed to Ruthless. So when I found that, I'm like, listen, guys, the minute I met, hey, what up, dog? I'm Kiki. Hey, so check it out, homie. I'm one of the veterans here. You're gonna have to work with me, bro.
Right, on the real.
Hands down, my niggas.
Real.
Listen, I ain't playing.
He's not lying.
I got an idea. I wanna take you guys out of here because I work at another studio. I don't follow studios. You can have all the recording equipment you want. If you don't have that engineer, I don't care.
You don't care.
You feel me? I follow my engineer, and so I took them to my brother Firehouse, my brother Choco Beats, and I had told him the idea.
Right.
And he's like, yo, let's try it.
Yeah.
Yo, let's try it. Let's try it. So, there's corridos, and then there's corridos tumbados, and we invented hip-hop corridos.
That's right.
We invented that.
That's
We're
right.
the first ones to ever do this. And this is the first ever complete Spanish music rap music that's coming out of Compton.
Yeah. Let me cheer that, man. That's dope.
So this is completely new, and it's for my culture, but it's dope because I do have a lot of black friends, and it's dope to see them cheer me on.
Right.
Like, hey, homie, I don't know what the fuck you saying, cuz, but you killing it, man.
Killing it. Hey, you seen me right there. I was like, on everything.
But like I tell them, I learned that energy from my black friends.
On the real.
You feel me? That soul, the heart. You feel me? Like I learned that from them, and I take that and embraced it.
On the real.
Where a lot of, like I tell people, you put a Mexican from Compton and a Mexican from East Los in one room, they're both gonna talk completely different.
Right.
Different, yeah.
Right.
Way different. Way different. I'm not from East Los.
One from Watts too.
Yeah, especially from hub to the dub all day to the day I die. You know, up to the dub. My little cousin Teddy, he's half black, half Mexican.
Right.
I have an uncle that's black.
Right.
You feel me? And we call him Theo. We don't call him uncle. We call him Theo.
Right. Right.
and he learned a lot of Spanish, being around my grandma and all that.
Yeah.
That's the culture. That's what it is in Watts. I tell that to everybody. Watts is where it gets mixed.
Yeah.
Everybody loves each other there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just depends on where you live, but yeah, dog.
Yeah, it's connected. Yeah, it's connected like a mud. So introduce the song.
So Elevación, T produced all that with Dre. They came up with it. We get to the studio and them motherfuckers are talented, bro.
Yeah.
We're listening to them and you were going through like 4 licks or?
I had some ideas and like we already had performed like the Too Short. Like we performed that live, like when we go to gig it and stuff like that. That's one of the songs that we perform, and people be like, oh, they trip out when they hear it. So I'd be like, oh, damn, y'all be doing that English stuff too. And I would be like, yeah, man, we do everything. So that's how we came out about, that evolution. We were like, fuck it, let's try some hip hop stuff, with the corrido stuff. We made the melody and stuff. So once we got to the studio, I grabbed the guitar and I started messing with the chords and stuff. And the next thing you know, I was like, hey, I think I got something.
Yeah.
Then I started humming a little part about it, and then I started writing I told Dre, hey, let's start writing some lyrics. So I did like a little something, like a little, hey, en este juego navego pareo. So since with that little hook, we were like, all right, let's start writing the rest of it. And that's how it came out.
In less than half an hour.
Everything got written right there and then.
Yeah,
everything got written right there.
Nothing.
Right.
Like how when Ice Cube said, yo, I think I got something.
Yeah.
That's how it felt.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. And like a lot of people don't hang out in the studio together no more.
Yeah.
Like that shit is weird to me.
Right.
Like, I want to collab with you and they're
send
like,
it to you.
send it to me.
Yeah.
Send it to you. Don't you want to write it with me?
On the real.
Don't you want to,
That's another lost art.
That's
Right.
another,
Sure.
Right.
Wow, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
Even when
Yeah,
you
because in
was
hip hop back then, us coming up, a lot of them artists was in the studios together.
Together.
hours.
You know what I'm saying? Versus now,
Hours.
Hours.
Days.
You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, go ahead, email it.
Yeah.
Now let's go check out Elevación.
No.
See, look, see y'all, evolution. See y'all mess me up, man.
Evolución.
Evolución.
Evolution.
Yeah.
Central, Compton in the house.
Yes, sir.
You already know what's up. My boy Kiki Smooth.
Hey. Best Way to Smoke podcast. Big shout outs. Elevación dropping May 30th. Let's give it to him, T.
En este juego navego parejo,
Yeah.
arriesgando el
Pellejo.
por hacer
Dinero.
Una modelo fumando del bueno, bajado
Con mi fierro.
cargo cero miedo.
Yeah.
Vida
Sagrada.
sagrada, que sabe
Cuidada.
cuidar, que no haya lana, me sobran las ganas.
Ajá.
Por eso me enfiesto cuando hay chance, porque no se sabe si hay otro mañana.
Si no saben lo que cuesta esto, pesa en la cabeza. Big Chesa, buena pieza, peleando en la pobreza. Nosotros contra todos, doble R está la muerte. Aquí estamos y estamos más fuertes. Bitches envidiosos siempre quieren lo que miran. Kick 'em out the circle como un juego de canicas. Abuelita reza por los primos tal la reja. Pagaron con su vida dando vuelta en la ruleta. Stick talking little homies wanna in your future. Funerales para los que tengan duda. Para morir uno tiene que vivir. Y para vivir uno tiene que sufrir. Feeling like Ryan after the loss, no corner. Sometimes you gotta lose just to get stronger. You see me with Easy, wasn't easy to get these ruthless Jews. And that's the motherfucking truth. Smooth.
Este juego navego parejo, arriesgando el pellejo por hacer dinero.
That's right.
Una modelo fumando del bueno,
Ok.
bajado en mi fierro,
Ajá.
cargo cero miedo. Vida sagrada hay que saber cuidarla, aunque no haya lana, me sobran las ganas. Por eso me enfiesto cuando hay chance, porque no se sabe si hay otro mañana.
Le pido San Juditas que me dé una manita, que me ponga en el camino como Tupac en Latina, con un chingo de oro masked up like we Zorro. Rolling with the Brody, with the 40 looking gordo. It's nothing personal, it's business when we roll up, porque el precio de ayer no es el mismo de ahora. Arriesgando todo para un día salir del lodo. Sacrificios, no me agüito, oye primo, pues ni modo. Started with a paper bag, now we getting duffels. El trabajo roba tiempo, coming out the rubble. Soñamos grande todos los días para adelante. Gallito tras gallito, para despegarme. Fuck bien jodido, por eso le he hecho ganas. Hasta el día que Diosito me dé alas. No se pasen de la raya, aquí estamos vivos. Rich and Ruthless, siguiendo el camino.
Este juego navego parejo,
Yeah.
arriesgando el pellejo por hacer dinero.
Say what?
Una modelo fumando del bueno,
Ajá.
bajado mi fierro, cargo cero miedo.
Let's go.
Vida sagrada hay que saber cuidarla, aunque no haya lana, me sobran las ganas.
Best Way to Smoke
cuando hay
podcast.
que no se sabe
Exclusive
si hay
right
otro
here.
mañana.
Hey. Dropping May 30th. Evolución.
Asociados.
Rich and Ruthless Records.
So how do you guys know each other? Because you went from label to label. Clearly, the chemistry is there because you wouldn't still be working with each other today.
Yeah.
So give us the background on that.
I mean, well, basically we ended up being Rootless Studio. So I guess
y'all two.
Yeah.
Oh, me and T.
Yeah, y'all too.
Well, we both from South Central, so we
Got it.
everybody knows each other right there. He used to hang out with my cousin, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There, we just formed a group right there,
Okay.
Yeah.
Asociados.
Yeah.
Right.
Say it
Basically,
again?
Yeah.
Asociados.
The associates.
Associates.
Asociados.
I love that. Ever since I had heard them, flipping music like that, I always wanted to work with them. And when I got the chance, I went and did that. And if you listen to, we did the acoustic here, but if you listen to the original, we added that boom bap flavor to it.
Yeah.
You feel me? That gangster feel with the live bass. You know what I mean? Congos on there. Shout outs to Choco for doing the drum programming. And then these two dudes on the guitars and Dre on the bass. It's just incredible to do that.
I'm kind of.
It was
Very
I
talented.
wish I was here to
Very
see it.
talented.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see it on the playback.
And that's why we named it Evolution, because it is the evolution of hip hop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's got to that. you come to LA, you got to respect the culture, and Mexicans have a big culture here in Los Angeles,
Right.
and you got to understand that
Facts.
we praise hip hop and rap, but we also praise corridos.
Right.
We have our Chalino Sanchez and Ramon Ayala, people from Mexico that have come down and started this music way when we were kids. So it comes from our parents.
Right.
And to be able to meet two guys that are willing to twist the sound because it's so traditional that people don't want to do that.
Right.
It's that thing where it's like, oh, when soul music was becoming hip hop and the soul people were like, hell no, why you sampling us?
Right.
Why the fuck y'all sampling us? You feel me?
Right.
So that was really hard as a rapper trying to do this, finding people that wanted to do it with me.
Right.
And so I always had this idea of doing it, right? Because I'm sitting there watching my homeboy sample a soul song.
Right.
And we're loving it. But why can't we sample something that my mom has, a record that she has, that she brought from Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And it was because they were like, no, they don't like that. They don't like that. Do you guys agree on that?
Yes,
You feel
sir.
me?
Yes,
So
sir.
it was
Not only that, man. I'm sorry to cut you off, man. But not only that, Evolución, because we're evolving ourselves too. We're used to singing that Spanish, corridos, banda, all that type of music. We're evolving into Spanish rap.
That's right.
So, it's big for us.
That's
It's really
right.
big for us.
That's right.
Evolution.
Yeah, you said it right.
With that evolution right there that you said, with the banda, the corrido, am I said that right?
Yep.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That culture and genre of music, you know what I'm saying, about you guys mixing that with hip hop, how is the Mexican culture actually taking that?
So when we perform it, they're like, oh, they're about to sing some corrido because it starts with it starts like you're gonna hear a corrido, but then when they hear the hip hop, they're feeling it heavy. Where we're starting to see people even like copy us, right? They were hitting.
Trendsetters, huh?
Yeah, they were starting to
Man.
see people even copy us, So we got way more. We got a couple more, tucked in, ready to shoot for the summer. So
Watch
And
them
kinda-
copy as well.
genius.
That's
Oh,
right.
really?
Good. Let them. I mean, hey, let them go ahead and copy. You're doing something right.
Man.
They can't do it right, though, the same.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I was like sending them messages like, check this shit out, fella. Somebody like over there straight jocking us, and it's their old label, and we know they're watching us.
Right.
We know they're watching us, and we're like, what the hell? But it's like I said,
how it goes.
It's just how it goes. Like you start something and people like it, they're gonna want to become it.
Yep.
What I will say is seeing it live was super dope. Like it was like a great blend of Hispanic hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It was a great flow and how you guys started it off, the hook, and then into rapping. I was like, oh, like it really.
I
was
was
like,
up there like, okay.
right, literally. It was like, so. Thank you guys for blessing our couch.
And it was the first time we did it acoustic acapella.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to try it anyways.
right here at
Right.
Best Way to Smoke.
Yeah, we did the exclusive right here.
We get the exclusive.
Yeah.
Right. Thank
On
you
the
for
real.
that. And so let everyone know when the EP's dropping. The
EP's
song.
dropping.
May 30. May 30. Stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah, May 30.
May 30th.
Mer-
it is.
the video's out right now on YouTube. Evolución is out. The video's actually out, but the EP drops May 30th, and we're so happy to be able to come over here and actually promote it. So thank you guys.
Oh, for sure,
you
for
guys.
sure, for sure. We'll definitely have you guys back again, though. But I want to ask this question. I know you said you knew Big Easy all the way down to his son. So how did your relationship start with
Well,
Big
I
Easy?
I never I worked at his record store.
Okay.
So by the time he passed away, I was working with Big A.
Oh, okay, with Big
Yeah,
A. Okay,
yeah, I was working with Big A, but I met Derek and Eric and Erica when they were kids.
Right.
So I am Eric's DJ, and I was his first DJ. I was there when
Lil Eazy, yeah.
his homies Cavi and J.O. Felony wrote all his first raps.
Right.
So the homie Cavi and BG Knockout pulled up to the record store and told me, we're gonna go get Fubu. That's what they used to call
Fubu,
him.
yep.
And I was like, for what? You're gonna be his DJ. I started laughing. Because Fubu was not into rap.
No, he wasn't.
Derek was the rapper.
Yeah.
Derek would. So if you look at Eazy-E's videos, the little kid that he's carrying around, that's Derek. And Derek, and God works in mysterious ways. Derek sounds like his dad.
Yeah.
But Eric looks like his dad.
him, just like him. Yeah.
It's so when they did the hologram, they used Eric's, visual and Derek's voice.
Wow.
Yeah, just a little secrets
yeah,
out there. But
yeah.
working with just being able to work at that record store was a goal of my life, and I completed that goal.
That's right.
That was like on my enemy hood, like on that side. Chicano gang and them fools did
Chicano,
not like it.
CG,
Yeah, them fuckers did not like me.
Right.
Because we used to go to Dominguez and throw ditching parties, and I was a fucking knucklehead taking people's girls and all this shit.
Yeah.
That's gonna create chaos. And now that
That
they
was the
see
fun
me,
part of it.
yeah,
Oh,
now
yeah.
now they see me and they respect that because I try to respect everybody out there, because I want to represent Compton and whole. But
Right.
politics won't allow that.
Nah.
So, I'll stay on my side of the bridge, let them stay on their side of the bridge.
Yeah.
And that's just how I live my life. But, working at that record store was this thing where I went for 3 weeks in a row and they told me, no, we're not hiring. No, we're not hiring. No, we're not hiring. I'll go back again. And I told them, I'm not trying to get paid. I was selling weed at the time.
Right.
I want the records.
Right.
Because I could not compete with the DJs on the radio. These, like I said, some of these people are spoiled with digital world. They don't know what it is to go try to find that vinyl that no one
Right.
has. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's what makes my music what it sounds. You know what I mean? Just working at Underworld Records and, being able to meet human beings that are down to twist the sound.
Right.
If you listen to all the West Coast rappers, everyone has the same fucking sound. Listen to this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has that same
Now,
ratchet beat. Like it's Detroit and West Coast mixed together. If you listen to it, it's like I call it the Muster era. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is it
Right.
like they rapping like what's his name? Draco?
Draco. Oh my God. I'm falling asleep. Let me wake up. Here I am.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounds like, oh shit. I really lean in them pills fuck this generation up too, bro.
Ain't no question.
You know what I mean? And what
That's probably why I don't know too many of these new artists.
yeah, and you know
Yeah.
what it is though? Why would you not want to create a sound for yourself?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's cool to want to rap like him, but like your production should not sound like him.
Yeah.
It should be
It's a
you and
lot,
your
man.
producer locked in, going, we're gonna not listening to the radio. Your hook does not sound like some other nigga's hook.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I
right.
hate that, bro. Like y'all all sound the same.
Right.
All of y'all.
Right.
That's why, like, a lot of people tell me, like, what do you think of Lefty Gunplay? And I'm like, y'all want to hear the truth? That motherfucker ain't no MC.
Right. Right.
That's a paid gimmick.
Right.
They paid to get him on that album.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's sad that they gave that food like 3 syllables.
Three
and then,
syllables,
and then
yeah.
when he goes out and performs, DJ Quick brings him out. And that's another shit. Why you rapping on top of your lyrics, bro?
Right. Right.
Why can't you just spit? You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be an MC. You're supposed to be the master of ceremony. These kids don't know that.
Right.
But that's what it stands for.
Like when he performed over there in Bonnie Hunter.
Yeah. Oh my God.
For the TDE
I was
Christmas
looking at that
thing,
shit and
yeah.
I was like, yo, listen to this though. All my first shows, they were full of black people.
Right.
I was not trying. Well, there was no goddamn Mexican scene.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Mexicans play corridos and that was it.
Right. Right.
I know what it is. And I took Coolio to my first show and he's like, you got it, bro. You saw what you did to these people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's energy. It's really
Facts.
getting it out there. I've seen rappers where, like white kids, that got more energy than a lot of these kids. A lot of these rappers that are out, they think they're in a video shoot.
Right.
It's not even like a performance.
Man.
And then they're fucking up the words on top of the lyrics.
Right. That's why you can. Yeah. Hey, look. That's why you can appreciate artists nowadays like Kendrick Lamar, because he's not trying to sound like nobody. He's putting out what he wants to put out, and he has his message. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And now that's dope part. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar for putting on Mexicans this year.
On everything.
If it wasn't for Kendrick Lamar, Mexicans would not be where they're at right now as in hip hop.
Right.
So shout outs to TDE and Kendrick. Like I said, the Hub City continues to reinvent hip hop.
Yep.
And big shout outs to him because he did put 2 Mexicans on there, and that's fucking amazing for me to just say that you know, maybe one day they'll recognize us.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because, you know, we've been putting in work for a very long time.
And I like Peso.
Peso's hard.
He spit, dog.
Yeah, Peso hard, bro.
Yeah.
Out of all the people that were on, like, coming up as a DJ, I try to play some Latinos that I think are dope. I fucks with Peso.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I listen to Peso.
Big shout outs to Peso and Hunt in the Park. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because when I heard that verse, I was like, damn, tell him Peso did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was some real shit. And you know what's dope is to see that he got an actual verse.
Facts.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna get off of that. I'm to be banging on these kids, bro. Yeah.
Oh man.
So a couple times, you've been given mad respect to Yella, right?
Definitely,
So
always.
How did that relationship form, like, and grow you
That's
into
a crazy story.
where you're at now as a DJ?
Check it out. You guys know who Kid Frost is? The Rasa dude? I wrote his I wrote his last album.
For real?
Yeah, I wrote that shit.
Okay.
And then I got dicked out of the deal.
Damn.
I didn't get paid what I was supposed to get paid. And it hurted me to a point where I didn't want to do music no more.
Yeah.
I was like, man, fuck this shit, bro, because I said some fucked up shit to him too.
Yeah. Wait, Pop, you know who Kid Frost is? That's why I see how you looking though, but go ahead.
Kid Frost is the first ever Mexican rapper.
This is for the Raza.
Yeah, it's a song called "This for the Raza."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, motherfucker know who he is.
yeah.
That's Kid Frost.
Kid
I
Frost.
don't know a lot of
wrote,
names, but I know the song.
yeah, I wrote his last album, and he was bringing in big wigs. I was knocking them out, and I got a lot of the songs he's performing right now. I wrote them, and you know I toured with West Coast Cam, and Cam was like, hey, why is Frost sounding like you? And my other homie was. He was like, shouts to G-Rap from Great. He was like, cause it is him, cuz this nigga wrote all those songs. He told us, hey man, so that shit fucked me up so bad that I didn't want to do it no more. And my homeboy was like, check it out. I found out that Yella is having a signing in Oxnard. Oxnard is like 2 hours away from here.
Yep.
He's like, how about we go over there? You know, get an autograph and whatnot, and see what's popping with them niggas over there. I'm down. Let's roll. We get there. We're like the last motherfuckers to get there.
Right.
And I was like, damn, dog, I didn't bring no fucking music. My homeboy Chopper from 145, I give that nigga props. That nigga said, I got one of your CDs. He was like, nigga,
That's what the homie.
I was already thinking, like, you should make this nigga your DJ if you can.
Right.
Get in an autograph.
Right.
I was like, all right. Check this out. My mom worked at Louis Burgers. She was one of the first people to ever work.
On Compton Boulevard?
On Compton Boulevard.
Yeah, that was the spot
My
right
mom
there.
worked there. So when NWA was recording, they would eat there.
Yeah.
So my mom served them all the time. So there's a guy named Kid that manages Yella.
Yeah.
So when we get to the front, I recognize him. I'm like, I know this dude knows my mom. Right? So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna make this move. So Yella's like, hi. So I give him my NWA record, he signs it, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, what should I say? And I was like, oh, gee, look, man, I'm Kiki Smooth. You know, I'm a Mexican rapper from Compton, and I have the same attitude as you. And I think if you and I would work together, it would be something special. I told him, he knows me. And he looked at me and he goes, oh, you're Maria's kid. Yeah, because we all lived on Willow. Dante and JC on and me, we were the kids that would always hang together.
Right,
and
right.
Dante was his dad. It's
Yeah.
his dad. So Yella looked at me and he was like, you got a CD or something? I'm like, yeah. I didn't think they were going to play it right there. And then they played a song called One Call. And it's, you know, real trap beat type of beat. And it looked like they didn't like it.
Right. Right.
I was
right,
like,
right.
oh, fuck. Cool. Got my autograph, left my number on the CD. 2 weeks later, I get a call. And he's like,
Tapped in.
all right, I'll fuck with you.
Wow.
So we ended up creating the CPT mixtape that's out right now. It's Eazy-E, NWA, Eazy-E, and BG Knockout, and me are the only ones that's ever had a complete CD with Yella.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's insane. So
That's Compton history.
and you know, he wrote a book. He put me in the book. Like he took me around took me on tour. Like he gave me the blessings. You know, like he really, 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 really blesses. And, you know, he retired. What was it? Like, last month, right? Yeah, he retired last month. We went on his farewell tour, and it was really dope for him to just say like, I want you to rap, and then I want you to come on stage with me, and you're gonna be the hype man for Eazy. And it was just amazing, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my mentor. That's my OG. You know, that's my OG.
That's
For real. Like I always call him OG, and he calls me youngster. He taught me all kinds of things of the history that I was talking now.
Yeah.
I learned that from him, from those 2-hour drives that we would go to the studio.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that dude right there he's in my heart forever for the rest of my life, bro. Like that dude is amazing. He's a legend. He's a Rock Hall of Fame.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Shout
You
out
know,
to Yella.
and Yellow never ran. Listen to this. Yellow never chased the money, man. He chased his heart, and that's why he stayed with Eazy. He was Dre's friends first. You feel me?
Right.
But he never chased the money. He chased his heart. He felt wrong about leaving Eazy alone like that when everybody was leaving him.
Right.
You know? And that man is a dedicated dude to the Eric Wright family. For real. You know? So shout outs to my big dog DJ Yella. And without Yella, you know, I don't know where I would be at right now with hip hop. So, you know, shout outs to Ruthless Records, shout outs to Lil Eazy, signing all three of us, and then, you know, taking us on tour, putting us out there like that. You know, I like I tell people, I represent the legacy of Eric Eazy Wright, and that's Ruthless Records.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. We gotta give it up for that though, for sure.
I definitely want to give you props as well, because I feel like one thing that this generation doesn't do well is to really give those flowers to those who influence them. You know what I'm saying? Or really be okay to be like, listen, like, this is my OG. Like they really put me on. They really pushed for me to go hard. Like they took me under, like, and we made history. Like it takes a lot for, I feel like, this newer generation to be like, you know, no, I'm not copying you. It's influence.
Yeah, it's influence.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
not copying. That's what I mean. Like, there's nothing wrong with being influenced with another artist, but just, you know, take a little and make it your own. Not just fucking copy it.
And pay homage too.
Yeah, don't
pay homage.
And
Right,
pay homage.
pay homage.
All these goddamn copy paste rappers. That's what we're gonna call them.
Yeah, copy and paste.
Because there's a difference. There's a difference.
Way difference. So, man, big shout outs to the Ruthless family.
Man, shout out to Ruthless, man. Shout out to Compton.
Yes.
Shout out to you guys for coming through,
South
man.
Central Watts, everybody.
South Central Watts, yep.
Hey,
and the East Coast.
And the East Coast.
Listen, shout out to I give you guys props for what you're doing for real.
Thank
Facts.
you.
Because
You know,
you're
like,
just you keep going. Even like when I met you at that last event or whatever. Like you came, you're like, you just look like you were in your element.
oh yeah, I love
You was just
being
like,
around. Yeah, I don't change for nobody. You know what I mean? No matter where I'm at, you put me on the corner, I'm gonna be right there.
That's Kiki right there. That's
like
Kiki.
chilling. I love being around a good vibe, and you know, if you don't set the vibe, you know, if it's a fucked up vibe, I'm the type of person that'll set the vibe.
Literally.
Everything.
You feel me?
Literally.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna walk into a dull room and let it be dull.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. I could dig that, man. So on that note, you guys let everybody know what's coming next for you guys. What's up? Let's do it.
I'm excited to hear more from you guys. Like,
yeah, let us know something. What's coming on? Yeah.
Asociados.
Shout out y'all Instagrams and all that too.
Asociados_official. Let us know for whatever you want to see us in.
Yeah,
available.
You can check our music también and all the digital platforms. Look us up as Los Asociados, and we got all type of music. So we in all digital.
Especially with my
platforms.
boy Kiki. We got hella tracks coming.
A lot.
We're ready.
Exclusive.
May 30th,
Exotic.
Evolution's dropping. The EP's dropping, and just look out for the reels and you know the videos out right now on YouTube, so you guys could go check that out right now. Evolution is out. Just just if you ever want to check me out, just Google the first Mexican rapper out of Compton. That's what Yella named me.
Oh,
That was
everything.
Yella's idea. So just Google that, and my skinny ass comes out.
Oh, everything. Hey, look, we want to thank y'all though, man. Shout out to you guys, man.
Shout out,
Keep
man.
trend setting.
Yes.
Keep pushing, doing y'all thing, man. This is the Best Way to Smoke podcast. Make sure
Best
you
way.
stay elevated with Big J.
Stay smoking with your favorite smoking partner, surfboat.
And your professional high performance seat pop. Till next time, guys.